everything.
Cool. Call the meeting to order. Roll call. Here.
Vice Chair Herman. Here. Board Member Russell.
Here.
And Board Member Zero and Fayette that they would not be able to make it. Board Member Zero did provide some comments. Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Great, thank you. Let's approve the minutes from the May 14th meeting. Are there any questions or exceptions to it? Clarifications? If not, can I get a motion to approve the minutes? Oh, you weren't? I was. John, you weren't here either, were you? Andrea wasn't here. Can I move that? No, I can't.
Defer to next time.
Do you have to be here to, I don't think you have to be
For
here
minutes,
to.
I don't think you do.
Okay.
If you were voting on a zone
As
change.
long as you read them.
Public hearing,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can I get a motion to approve the minutes? Motion to approve the minutes. Can I get a second?
Yes.
All in
second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion, the minutes are approved as looked at, reviewed. Any visitor communications, Jackson?
Before we move forward, anybody with cell phones, please keep them off the table. For interference.
That's okay.
That should be good.
Cool, board business. Well, jump into it.
Yeah, so today we want to go through our 90% plan review for the portal. Mobility Hub, hopefully you've had time to look through the plan set, make some notes, questions, things that need to be improved or tweaked. And we'll take notes, let you guys, we'll have Tony walk us through basically how we ended up where we're at today. The changes that have been made since you last saw it from the best of our memory, and then we'll open it up to you guys to have discussion.
Can I steal your laser?
Bet.
Had trouble with mine today. Well, the site plan has largely remained the same. What we've gone back and we've added more of the detailed on where the lights are going to be. Of course, not on this sheet. So there's a little bollard lighting that's going to be going around about 150 feet on the trail, the new trail around the site. And then we've identified just a couple lights there and on the both edges of the parking lot to get the lighting.
And all dark sky compliant.
100% dark sky compliant, correct?
And we're working with Scott in the planning department to make sure we're not only dark sky compliant, but we're meeting the requirements of being a dark sky city. So.
Right.
Yep.
I know that during the open house that we had Chad Davison to talk about lighting in that area. So is it going to be adequate lighting for safety reasons as well?
Correct. That's our lighting. The intent is to get to a 0.4 foot candle lighting level. And it's all LED. So we're getting uniform spread across there, trying to not have dark areas. There's when a car or van parks, so you'll see dark areas, but when it's fresh and new, everything will have an even lighting level over the cross. Nice and uniform lighting. Cool.
The only thing we'll have to look at in with Chad is potentially the kiosk area is going to be pretty dark. That area, we will have a full street light at that crossing going to the restroom.
Yep.
So that'll be lit up nice.
That'll be illuminated. We didn't look at any illumination on that connection. I don't know if I can look to see if there's a light on the side of the building that we could put in.
Yeah, we can look at that. And then we got bollard lighting also
There's existing.
interior to the site.
Yep, so that trail.
Yep.
So do you feel that having lighting encourages people to come at night that might be walking around, or discourages them? I mean, I'm trying to think, they're talking about the safety issue. The more light, the less likely people would be to hang around and try and sleep there, or
I
is
think
that
we
what?
need to find that balance between
Yeah.
that and making
safety.
it comfortable enough for people to, especially during the winter, to feel okay getting off the bus, walking to their car at 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. So we need to
Okay.
strike that balance. That's where we really focused it. On the drop-off area, the first Sawtooth and then into the parking lot.
First Sawtooth being here.
Yep.
That's where the primary, the pickups are gonna be happening. The first bus will pull in there, second bus, if there's one here, would stop there. And then eventually, when it gets really popular, we'll have a third bus pull out there.
Okay.
The entirety of the parking lot, I don't know if we pointed that out before, is curbless. And so allow for quick snow disposal so that Paul can just push through the site and into storage bays. All of it's sheet flowing off, so that pavement just runs off into the ground and surrounding the parking lot for infiltration. We added the RV facility here, so the drivers would enter and RVs could use this west loop and then they would exit here. People, for parking folks, you would enter off of Hood, come into here, and then it's a one-way cycle through. And that turn here was modeled for that 30-foot bus that can just, the quick in and out ski trip, day trip that doesn't realize they can park here to load. And then we have a little kiss and ride drop off right there for folks. And then if buses come in, they hit here, and this is one way bus only all the way out to McKenzie. I think the total number of trees was 61, the bulk of that being right in through here. But we did go through a really tight exercise to identify and minimize those trees and shifted sidewalks as best we could. The sidewalk around the site, or the pathway around the site, we did our best. Survey shoots the center of the tree and then says it's this big, but they shoot it 4 feet up and tell us how big it is. So we don't know as engineers what that footing, what the spread is on the roots. So we did our best to avoid the trees. When the surveyor goes out and stakes them for construction, Paul's going to be moving some stakes around to even better miss the trees and float them over the roots. What else do we have?
In this phase of the project, this is everything that's gonna be in the phase. This is not looking at any future phases on it.
We're gonna recommend to Paul to bid all of this as phase 1. And our base bid will be all of this in the pathway. And then we're gonna do an bid alternate to add the parking onto McKenzie Highway.
Okay.
Just so we can make, if the bids come in under Paul's budget, we can add those in or add in pockets of those to get up to the budget that he has.
Cool. And the EV charging stations, is it in that first phase or is that in the second?
EVs would be in the second phase down
Second
here,
phase.
but we are bringing power from the restroom facility down to a vault somewhere in there that would be used for that charging. So power source will be there. So it'll be an easy, quick hookup when the EV charging is built.
How is the grant coming for that? Did we get the funding for weren't we applying for some third party?
So we got a grant approval for not only phase 1, but the EV charging site as well.
Okay.
It's a different funding, I guess, path. It goes through ODOT, which is a little bit more convoluted than going through Cascade East Transit. So we're going to be under construction with phase 1 well before ODOT's under construction with the EV chargers.
Gotcha.
And ODOT's going to do the design and the construction admin on the EV chargers. We're really not going to have a lot to do with it.
Now, the $1 million question that people get up in arms about in town is they are going to be paid for charging stations, right? People pay for those?
That is up to city council.
Okay.
Yep.
Don't worry about it. But because currently the library is paying for that one out there.
They are. Yep. No, that's going to be a discussion that they're going to have for sure. So real quick, Russell, can you tell us how far the RV dump station is from the main entrance? How much stacking room we got?
Yeah, so it's about 180 feet from the actual inlet to the dump station back to that entry road. So give or take where that falls on a RV or a trailer. I'm approximating about 160 feet of stacking distance.
Be about 3 vehicles.
Depending on, yeah, 3 bumper poles probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's pull-out space for the RVs there at the dumping station
They are gonna be stacking on that
on that?
travel lane right there.
Okay, so then the cars come in again, they come in
Second
that way.
entrance.
Gotcha.
Yep.
The sweet thing about this, and it isn't because you and I were on the plan, that is that if somebody swings in there and they're all stacked up, you can just make the loop
Yeah,
and get in line,
Get in line or go walk town and come back or whatever.
just
Yep.
park it and,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's not like you're stuck.
You're not gonna have to back up
Right.
or, yeah.
Making the loop makes it so much easier.
great. Is there gonna be, I'm sorry, I know this
It's
is,
okay.
this is a council question. Is there gonna be a fee for dumping? Do you charge?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
And it's worth every penny.
So right now at the campground, it's $10. So again, they will decide on
okay.
what that's gonna be.
I just don't want an opportunity to get it paid for.
No, we have to pay for the automated dump station as well as obviously to process the wastewater.
Is there
a place for
a bumper pull to park?
Not in phase 1. Remember, that's in phase 2. Actually, I think it's in phase 3. That might move up to phase 2.
So that would be,
Yeah, in that area.
but we're not gonna be able to be as flexible to be as curvilinear to put parking around trees. So phase 2 is gonna be really challenging.
It's gonna, yeah, show a different look as people drive by for sure. But
Yeah.
Can you remind, what's the max length for RVs using the dump station route?
We got 160 feet of stacking space with somebody using it.
I'm thinking more the turning radius.
The-
Oh,
So I had Russell model it with,
Mhm.
assuming my truck, with
Yeah.
3,500 quad cap long bed and a 42-foot fifth wheel.
Okay,
The 42-foot fifth wheel is the largest legal in Oregon. So I don't have
So it's
that, but I
big.
just want to make sure that my truck and trailer could get through.
Yeah.
It's selfish. I wanted that.
it's good. I was wondering about, because I love all the tree preservation. Is any limbing going to be required for the height of vehicles to be able to make
We're
that
gonna go through and make
travel?
sure we've got 17 feet of clearance all the way through, especially on the bus route and the RV route. But a lot of the big trees are 30 feet to the first branch, so it's. not
Right.
really
Yeah.
bad.
in the very top area where there aren't very many trees, are there any plans to do something with that area as like to plant more trees?
in the master plan, it shows it as future potential parking.
Okay, overflow.
Yep. But that
I
can,
think,
we're not married to that master plan really,
Yeah.
so.
yeah, I hear people say, well, where are we going to make up for those trees we're cutting down? So something to think about if there comes an area that could use some beautification.
For sure, yep.
So Lori had 2 questions she'd sent in on, if we want to cover those.
Sure.
One was the dark sky lighting, and yes, we are going dark sky. The other question she had was, what are we doing to cover the surface and re-landscape where we are having excavation and fill? And we were going all drought tolerant and assuming the duff would go back on those edges, so it keeps that very natural edging on the edge of asphalt. So we didn't have any plantings planned within the budget. It's just scrape the duff back, put what we need in, and use a spatula and kind of put it back in place, and over time, it's gonna look that way anyways, that heavy tree cover.
One concern slash suggestion is, man, there's so much cheatgrass around town. It is like year over year, it's just expanding and expanding. So keeping an eye on that to try to get ahead of it, cheatgrass or other invasives that might start to get established after disruption.
Of any kind. Well,
Man,
It's bad.
it's bad.
It's tough. It's, if you don't water, you're gonna get cheatgrass if you disturb the soil. And really, I mean, you have to either pull it or you go in and you spray for it. And we saw what happened with herbicides being sprayed on ODOT's right of way, all the way out to Camp Sherman. So I am really hesitant to bring herbicides into a native stand like this. So really, it's gonna be, you know, kind of mechanized equipment to take care of it year after year. You know, let it grow. We had a pretty wet spring, and yeah, we got a 2 foot tall crop of cheatgrass out there that we're having to deal with. So
Cause there's like that one lot, the big open lot across from Les Schwab on Hood. And that thing is just, it is 2 feet of cheatgrass out there right now.
yeah,
It's
Yep.
ready.
Yep.
The damn deer won't eat it.
if they weren't eating my flowers, they'd be hungry enough to eat it.
I wish something would eat it.
Mhm.
It's like, but if you throw water on it, it goes away, you know? So it's like,
Weird.
yeah,
Unleash the goats on sisters.
potentially, yeah. Yeah, a site like this, it could work really good.
There's a bull running free. You might like it.
Cows only eat it for 2 weeks when it's like really, really young. And then they don't touch it because it starts getting spiky.
Gets in their mouths and yeah,
I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to eat it either.
no.
So I saw the detail about some bike racks. But I didn't have time to dig through all the pages to figure out where exactly they're gonna get installed. On the
He
site.
is, right in through here
Okay,
on this edge, mostly on the edge, and it's really gonna depend, it's flexible, they're a bolt down, we call them staple rack, so it's
Mhm.
just a bunch of horseshoes.
Yep.
And those are bolted to the surface of the concrete, so it's really flexible. As we know more about what shelters are being proposed, that those elements can be shifted and slid around and then bolted down to the final
Okay.
resting spot.
nice. Yeah, and I think it's great that they're in a lit area as well.
Correct.
So there's about 30 parking spots in there?
We got like 27 and a couple ADAs in the north parking lot, and then on the McKenzie, we got, I think, another 18 with a couple more ADAs, and then obviously the 6 EVs. So a total of 55 all in.
Should be enough. You foresee, I know, anybody's crystal ball is just different, but do you think that crowd from center of town is gonna move their operations out to, when they're doing the McKenzie ride? Out to that spot?
We're hoping. Yeah. Yep. And we'll work with the state on if they're acceptable with moving the actual starting point of the scenic bike routes to the east portal. That'll help as well, because it'll go on a map.
So
And
it's
that's-
right now it's Village Green.
It is for both the Smith Rock and the McKenzie.
Well, now that we're gonna have all the corners of all the streets be perfect ADA accessible corners,
Yep.
how soon is it going to mesh in with our stuff?
That's tough to call because we haven't got a real solid. They're gonna actually start. Still having conversations with them. We think it's going to be 2025, which will probably be wrapping up as they're starting. But we'll end up, yeah, probably staying away. They've already improved the corners up on the northern portion off of Highway 20. They're doing the ones down at Vets Park right now. That will be a new one, the one on the corner, and that's really the only one at risk of, yeah. And we'll just have to make sure that it meets not only PROAG, but ODOT guidelines.
Yeah, I hate to see beautiful new stuff torn up because it doesn't quite match with something.
No,
else.
and yeah, no one likes, it's just not good. Yeah,
Good.
I agree.
So there's going to be no improvements in this plan to the entrance to the mall from Hood. So where you turn into Dakotas there, that street is just, it's not touched by any of this.
No, nope.
And that's a city street?
It's a driveway on, I guess,
City property.
right of way that is city property.
But it'd be,
I wouldn't say it's a city street and it's not classified as a city street in our plan, our transportation plan.
because it could use some improvement. I was hoping that some of this would stretch over there.
Need to take the back way through the apartment complexes.
Yeah, they would love me for doing that.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a stretch to get the parking down on Mackenzie covered by this mobility hub grant. Going off site would be a real stretch.
Yeah, I just,
What is the feedback from the bus companies on this? Have you reviewed them? Are they good with the plan?
Yeah, no, they bought into the plan during the master planning process where we ended up with the sawtooth design. And then I'm gonna be presenting this to CET at the next meeting that they have.
So will this, I know this is probably separate, but so will we able to push people off of Hood Street? Doesn't CET run down, or no, they run down Main Street, right?
They do.
So are they gonna still run down Main Street?
We'll have to see. I mean, I think that we're still gonna end up with a stop somewhere over on this end of town. Potentially that's gonna be the main hub. And then potentially they're gonna leave the one up by Ray's, just because there is so much employment up there. But the benefit of this is people being able to ride share, being able to park, both short-term, long-term. Center of town, be able to bike to it.
On the sidewalks, especially along the southern edge where the parking on Mackenzie Highway is, there's a couple spots where I feel like oversized vehicles could end up over parking the sidewalk. And I know we're working around trees, but I think it might be something to look at if there's any way to increase the separation between the edge of the parking and the start of the sidewalk.
Or overhang.
Yeah,
Sure.
bumper overhang, bike rack overhang.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah,
I've had that before.
if you got an F-350 with a bike rack on the back,
Yeah.
it's gonna be halfway out in the street.
Yeah, halfway out on the street or halfway on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing, and I've noticed this a lot with the brand new ODOT sidewalks and curb ramps, is especially if you're on a bike or you're pushing a stroller, making hard 90-degree turns on a sidewalk can be sort of tricky, and there's several of them in this design. And so what I see people actually doing is they're like like sort of cutting the corner, and jumping off the sidewalk a little bit to make, like, especially that southwestern curve. So, you cross the street, you go up, northeast, and then you're either turning north or you're turning east.
And yes, what you're saying, since it's such a sharp angle
Yeah.
that it's not gonna be.
Yeah, so it makes it a little harder to navigate if you're, because it's like, how big strollers are and.
Do you think it would help to have radiuses where those
Yeah, for
intersections are?
Flare,
Okay,
that's
Specifically
possible.
Looking at,
yeah,
That
yeah.
one, and then the one that's right, yeah, that one too, and then the one right there, yeah.
so fillet those corners to open it up for the
Mhm.
big double wide strollers to
Yeah.
navigate.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
And actually cause let me see, is that a crossing at the entrance across from Felicity Lane? Is there a sidewalk crossing right there?
Yes.
Yeah, there's two ADA ramps and then there's a crossing right
Yeah.
there.
Cause that would be another one. I could see people coming out of the neighborhood or going shopping, having their stuff with them.
So we'll just eliminate the 90 degrees and just do a 4 or 5 foot radius on those corners. It's all asphalt, so it'd be really easy to pave that out.
Mhm.
You don't have to like set your little form, like,
Nope. Yeah. Bunch of 2x4 cuts to get
Yeah.
the perfect radius. No, it'd be asphalt. The guys can do it with the shovel.
I was thinking about that the other day when people are cutting trails while you're out hiking. I hate that.
mhm,
They say like 10 steps.
yeah,
Come on.
yeah, separately, the corner right at the intersection of, 242 at the new elementary school and, the road that goes to past the high school, I'm forgetting, McKinney Butte, that curb ramp into a slope is like super hard to navigate.
Dangerous.
Uh, Obviously, like it's ODOT, but I was just like, oh my gosh, this just got real complicated. Like, it's really tough to navigate on a bike
Huh.
as an adult. So,
I'll take a look at that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
yeah, it's the elementary school side.
Yep.
Yeah, because it comes to a sort of a point there, doesn't it?
It comes to a point, it's on a hill. Yeah, this site is nice and flat, so that part's easy.
Sometimes flatter can be hard too.
Mhm.
On the access way from the buildings, the center of it to Cascade on that one, going up to the main path. Right there, would that be required to smooth out the corners on that too?
Yeah, we'll look at all those 90-degree
Yeah.
edges and get them rounded.
What are your thoughts?
So originally in this utility plan, we had to go across here and hook into the sewer main line right here to go to the dump station. And of course, ODOT's redoing all the curb ramps, and they're doing that because they're gonna be doing a grind and inlay on Hood, which is getting paved next week. So I went ahead and hired a contractor to put this in, and it's going in tomorrow night to this point right here.
Good call.
So we're not gonna be cutting brand new asphalt.
I hate when I see.
It makes me twitch.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Look what you hear last week.
And it never fails. Somebody,
Oh, yeah.
CEC will come along and be, oh, you just got a request for service. Like,
Are there any other questions or suggestions? Anything else that's important that we should notice, Paul, on this?
no, like I said, phase one, or like Tony said, with the bid alternate on the improvements down here, going out with the project bid. Hopefully we come in within budget. If not, the next round of STIF funding is coming available soon. That we're gonna be, well, we've already been asked to figure out what our request is gonna be. So we're assuming that we're gonna have a good chance of going in round two and getting the
There
remaining,
is one.
getting the remaining funding for phase two
Oh,
and
okay.
potentially this bid alternate if the bids come around, the cost estimate. Be able to get this done pretty quickly. So
What's the projected bid date on this?
we're gonna look at a winter build. So bid date end of October. And really, yeah, try to entice good bids for contractors filling that winter hole. It's been successful for us so far, so. I was originally trying to get it out as soon as possible, but trying to bid in July, start construction in September, October, people's paving season's already booked. The pavers are already booked. So. Yeah, go for a winter build and pave out in the spring.
First one out of the gate for the paving.
Yep. Kind of exciting.
Yeah. See something from the very beginning to where we are right now. That's really exciting.
Yep.
Do we get to name it?
We're not naming it. We're like
Come on.
not designing the color of the sign or anything.
Hmm.
We'll install it. We're colorblind when it comes to paint colors. But I did hear that there's gonna be a naming policy that's
Yes.
going to
Yeah,
occur.
because I'm tired of calling it the East Portal. People just go, why is it the East Portal? And I go, I know,
5 minutes later, the explanation's done.
I'm retiring soon. So my
So
name
we gotta get it done.
is up for, no, I meant my name is up for grabs.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
Andrea's place.
yeah.
Good deal. Any other questions on that?
Comments from,
Yeah, so I just wanted to acknowledge, they are in your stapled packet, the last page, but we already addressed Lori's comments. Just want to make sure that we're aware of that. Things.
So question one from Dane was, as I watched those big ponderosa trees go down on the roundabout, I wondered myself, how we as a community offset the loss of the big trees.
I think like we talked earlier, doing tree planting efforts with native trees on that site. It's a great idea. I'm sure the forestry board would entertain that, potential Arbor Day celebrations. Yeah, there's all kinds of opportunity there.
Number two was, also related to observations of the roundabout. Notice much sunnier in the roundabout area and have thought of increased heat effect. I think it's the same amount of sunlight.
I mean, my only thought is we're still pretty heavily treed in there.
Yeah.
We are adding significant asphalt to the area, but
For sure.
we're also making a place that hopefully will reduce traffic elsewhere and reduce the need for travel trips. So I think on balance, it'll be worth it for sure.
Yeah, and I think with the parking lot layout, the creativity was based around trees, I guess. So hopefully we're gonna get some shade with those in there.
That's a big issue. People pulling out stuff to be fire retardant, and then they put in rock or something like that, and they
Mhm.
just heat up the whole area, so it's really not.
No, he's right on about the roundabout. There's no cover out there at all.
You can just, transplant a 60-foot ponderosa in the middle of it, right?
Right in the center island.
As far as amenities to make it more attractive, water, pets. I think you covered most of that in there with the bike parking and, you did say a bike repair station, like the one you said at the Village Green.
That makes a lot of sense.
That might
Yeah.
be something that we'd be looking to putting there.
What's that?
Are you putting a fountain in? Trying to remember if we talked about that.
Off of the building, off of the restroom. Yep.
That's where the water fountain will be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there water associated with the dump station or is it truly just a dump station?
There'll be a wash down component, one of those red hoses on a
Mm-hmm.
big spring that you can wash down.
But not intended to fill the water tank in the RV?
If you're filling your water tank with that,
We're potentially looking, bringing in a big enough line to do a water fill there. So we're looking into that as well, like a bulk water type fill. Not for water trucks, but for RVs, campers. Yeah.
We talked about number 4, the dark sky lighting.
Yeah.
The suggestion was to put some maybe motion sensors on it.
We'll have to run that by Chad to see the effectiveness of that. I know during the planning phase, they really wanted to be able to see through that parking lot area.
That's what he said. Those are all good questions.
They are. We reduce the lighting, we feel, as much as we can and still hit that safety mark.
Cool. Anything else on this, Jackson? On the topic?
I think if we could get a motion from the board or a recommendation to council with the noted changes that we'll make, that would be helpful for council.
Sure. Can we get a motion to recommend that the council approve the plans as recommended and with the said changes on it?
So moved?
Do I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great.
Did
Thank you.
abstain, Andrea?
Yeah, good,
Okay, good.
excited.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting. Oh, on a side note about that, I know where people fill up their RVs, by the way,
I do too.
at the recycling center.
Yep, and I'm not
Yeah.
bothered by that. That was
I mean,
kind of
it's-
our trying to help with people camping,
Yeah, that's who it is.
long-term campers.
Yeah, that's who it is, so. And I'm not,
Which is fine.
yeah, I'm not upset about it
Yeah.
either. Because if they're coming in and bringing stuff in out of the woods to throw it in the recycling and garbage.
Right. No, we're really setting up this RV dump and potentially a fill station to assist with that in a lot more easily accessible spot.
Yeah. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Cool.
garbage cans.
We'll just have to work with
Yeah, that's a big issue.
with Republic to figure out where we can put those.
Do the pickup at the Fort Picks or the?
No, definitely not. No, we'll just have pedestrian cans. Otherwise, everybody from the county.
Everybody will drive through with their pickup truck.
Exactly.
Is this a transfer station?
Not even pickup trucks, BMWs.
You know,
It's like. No, we've gotten away, having any dumpsters out in the public arena unless they're behind a closed gate.
Cool. Any updates from stuff going around town, Paul?
Yeah, so real quick, let me pull this up. Maybe start with Jackson. He can give you a public event, what's coming down the road.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Appreciate it.
So Farmers Market has already had 2 market days this season. They have expanded to the vacant lot across the street from them with permission from the bank. And we have some pedestrian event ahead signs, just so drivers are a little bit more aware of that increased pedestrian traffic. Coming up, there's the Barn Duster bike ride this Saturday, staging out of Fur. finishing at First Street Park. The Labyrinth community will be having their summer solstice walk on Thursday, the 20th at 5 p.m. at the Eastport Labyrinth. We'll also have the Ham Radial Field Day, having their annual competition at Creekside Park the weekend of June 22nd. And Big Pond Road Music Festival last weekend of June will be at Village Green Park.
And the 4th of July,
4th of July, yeah.
Yep. what are the hours gonna be for that? Bill?
Early.
7:30 to like 12:30.
7:30, 12.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a heck of an event. Definitely something to bring the kids to, for sure.
Should be good. And
Yeah.
we are gonna do the car show on the big parking lot down on between Cascade and Hood. So we should have 35 cars there.
Great.
And then we got the spot next to the grassy spot. We're gonna bring in cow and a sheep and a goat.
Nice.
Cloverdale Livestock Club. So
Nice tame cow.
yeah, tame cow.
Yeah.
Just one that's not named House Party, right? So our party bus.
Party.
That was it.
I think it'll turn out wherever you end up being better than out at the airport. Every time I was out there, most of
Oh.
the time it was too hot. It was too,
Talk about no shade
yeah,
out there.
yeah, just
Yeah.
not a great event, not a great location. So except for, I don't know about the flying chickens. I mean, we're gonna miss those, but
Yeah, that's some of the things that are gonna be missed. I mean, the drag racing was fun, but it was, you saw what happened at the rodeo and then
mm,
that could be easily happen
Easily.
the same way right at the runway too.
yeah,
The Benson's made probably a smart call.
right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Um, any other board member comments?
I can do a quick little
Oh, yeah, yeah.
update with what we got going on. We hired a new UT1 employee named Brett Taylor, started today. Seems like a great guy. So first thing we did, I gave him the 3-hour tour and then we put him with Robin. And checked in with Robin at the end of the day. She gave me the thumbs up. So that's the test right there.
It's neat.
Rodeo went well, the parade went well, even though we had a little kind of squirrely traffic control route, which will be the last time just with the roundabout. Next year, it'll be much easier. We'll divert both westbound and eastbound on the alternate route, so it'll be a lot cleaner. And unfortunately, they did not schedule their pooper scoopers, so we ended up with a mess on Cascade and we're still street sweeping that. You'll see our sweeper out there tomorrow morning.
They didn't do that last year either.
I felt like they had somebody come afterwards, after the parade.
They had a new director, he admitted that he forgot to
Yeah.
include a super squad.
So they will be expecting a bill for that?
That's up to my boss. I mean, we'll keep track of our time. You bet.
Yeah, cause it's a mess.
It was a complete mess, yeah. And we had actually, no, they didn't do it last year because that's why we mentioned this year, you gotta do it. And because Bobcat Mike did it forever. And they said that they would take care of it and they, yeah, dropped the ball on it, so. Yeah, we'll make sure that that has to be done next year, for sure. I swear Cascade's a laxative for those horses, it's crazy.
I mean, you should try walking down it. Oh my God. It was a nightmare.
I mean, they get up there, they get nervous, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a horse person, but. We're already planning on the quilt show event, second weekend and second Saturday in July. Jackson met with the planning staff for that today. I haven't debriefed with him, but they're still planning. Actually, I'll turn it over to you. Man. You can give an update.
So there shouldn't be any major changes With the roundabout construction moving into future phases, they'll have the access from Hood on to Cascade closed at that time, which is normally where we had a lot of folks turning onto Hood. So we will be diverting our detour and event head signage onto Larch to accommodate for that southbound traffic, because that's the next access for them. Otherwise, there will be no major changes.
Great.
When will the roundabout be completely finished?
Got to be done by August 31st, including all the side street stuff. Yeah. We're gonna enjoy it all summer. Yep. We're just hoping that they get before 4th of July, the eastbound to go through it. That'll help. Let's see here. The 2024 overlay project is complete. The invoice for payment is going to council tomorrow night. Our 2024 crack seal work is complete. For the spring, we will be back out doing some roads in the fall. Preparation for winter ops. We got the McKinney Butte Corridor Safety Project. We've wrapped up the design. They're working on the bid specs, and that's gonna go to bid next Tuesday on the 18th. And bids will be due on July 9th. We'll start construction into July and have substantial completion, at least the stuff out by the schools by Labor Day.
Nice.
Wonderful.
That's a good win.
Yep.
On that, what did the budget come in at on that?
A little over 200.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
And that's, we're self-funding that through city
Through the
budget?
street fund.
Okay.
Yep. And then our west side pump station design, we're neck deep in that right now. We just got our flow monitoring equipment, so we're gonna be installing that this week, and we'll be collecting that data through the 4th of July. So we're getting a week of school. We're getting, you know, obviously tourist season, as well as one of our biggest event weekends of the year to be able to model what that pump station, how big it needs to be. They're also analyzing our existing flows, pressures, and pump run data at not only the Rope Street Pump Station, but the Barkley Pump Station, because the Barkley Pump Station is actually going to get diverted. The piping's already gone in with the Woodlands infrastructure to divert that to the west side, to take that off of the Rope Street line as well, which will provide more capacity in our industrial park. So, I think that's it.
And they're
for now.
building new buildings in the industrial park, but it's over by the Woodlands, so I don't know that.
Yeah, on the Three Peaks subdivision side, so the north side of Barkley, there's a project going in there.
What's the effect going to be on your budget with the Three Creeks Brewery closing down?
It won't be bad. I mean, the pub is still gonna be running, operational, and they pay full, you know, water and wastewater rates. Wade had an economic development agreement with the city back when he built the production facility that gave him he got 30% sewer charges.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and that was for in perpetuity. But it was with him, not the land. Cool. So that goes away. Yep. So not a whole lot of impact, yeah. With that, we do have the water rates and sewer rates that got approved by council that you guys saw. Those go into effect July 1st, as well as the park water and wastewater SDC update.
Was there much pushback on the rate increase, Andrea or Paul?
Not,
No,
not that I heard. Nobody complained to me.
I didn't hear anybody say anything about it.
No, I don't think it was any big surprise.
yeah, everybody got a mailer before, you know, we will hear from some folks with the July reading.
When they start getting the bills.
What?
Yeah.
And the best thing, you know, our telltale answer is you control your destiny.
It's,
You don't have to water that big yard, twice a day or every day. So, yeah.
and then, my last question is, then I'll shut up.
Oh, that's all right.
What about Barkley? Where are we on that project?
Oh, so
Because that's the question everybody's asking with the
Yeah.
roundabout is, well, Barkley's not ready for it.
So Tony is revising the phase one plans to set the new limits, revising the bid schedule, revising the specs. So we'll have that here within the next month, and then we'll be ready to go to bid. And then we are also applying for a small city allotment grant for the Barkley intersection improvements for $250,000. So we think this project will compete very well. It's adding pedestrian benefits, multimodal benefits. It's providing intersection efficiency, intersection safety. So we think it'll score pretty well. Plus, we didn't get the SCA grant last year. And it's kind of been an every other year type deal. They, I think, try to spread the fertilizer around a little bit. So yeah, that could help with funding that project as well.
Yeah, we have to do everything. I know I had to, at our COAC meeting, that's the regional transportation meeting. We have a freight representative there who's a real sourpuss about the cities and the ODOT and the rules and how hard it is to be in the freight industry. And I think it was Bob Townsend said, well, the biggest problem you're gonna have getting people off Cascade is the bakery. And I said, no, we've got a bakery. We've got fika. Let me introduce you to the opportunity to try another bakery.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But it's still like, I don't know, I haven't seen the numbers in a while, but I remember when we moved here, it's like 98% of traffic drives through town and they don't stop. We only get like, it's the
Fraction.
people who are still going to the bakery are gonna go to the bakery, but everybody else who just wants to get through town. Cause
You would think as soon as they see the chance on a busy day, they will take it.
Yeah, we're excited to get trip data once the west bookend goes in and we make the intersection improvements, the stop control change at Barkley and Camp Polk, of how much that is used by mostly freight. That's what we're really curious about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully it's wildly successful. Yep.
Any other questions? Comments, Paul?
Jackson, do you have anything else? I think we're good.
Good. I move to adjourn the meeting.
Great. Y'all.